WCCO chief political reporter Pat Kessler joins us live from the Capitol this morning. Hi, Pat.
Hey, good morning.
Whenever there is a mass shooting, there are calls for gun control almost immediately afterwards. But we really haven't seen any action on this, partially because of inertia on this issue, maybe partially because these are tough things to solve. And so what do you think this time? Is there any chance?
You know, I really don't think there would be at this time. The president, in just the last few moments, said that America will discuss gun control or gun issues over time, seeming like he's pushing it off. And in just a few moments, Republican leaders in Washington are going to hold a press conference reacting to the massacre in Las Vegas. In the House of Representatives in Washington, they were scheduled this week to take up a bill to legalize gun suppression devices, what are known as silencers. It's expected they might put that off. But a signal here in this press conference is Steve Scalise, the Republican who was shot, the Republican leader who was shot at the baseball field a couple of months ago. And on 60 Minutes and on CBS this morning, he is telling Norah O'Donnell that he does not want to see gun control laws changed. So I think it's going to be frustrating for people who want to see that, but I don't think we're going to see it if we didn't see it after Aurora, after Orlando, and especially after Sandy Hook, when all of those children were slaughtered.
What about the topic, though, of silencers? We know that House GOP leaders have been kind of moving forward with legislation to kind of ease up on that. And for gun silencers, and that's what we saw, Hillary Clinton kind of tweeting about, saying, imagine the gunshots is what alerted people to something is happening. If there had been a silencer in this case, the difference that it would have made.
Yeah, and this is the thing. The people who support this, particularly gun enthusiasts, say that this is for their hearing protection. We're going to find that out literally within the next few minutes, I think, when Republicans in Washington start talking about it. We expect by the end of the week, the House of Representatives was going to take this up and actually vote on it. I'm suspecting, don't know, don't have inside information, but I'm suspecting because of the optics of this, the House may put it off for a little while before they take it up again. But once again, we're hearing this call. Now is not the time to talk about it. But if now is not the time, when people are actually focused in, whether you like it or not, when is the time? And that's the question we're going to hear now politically.
Yeah, it's always hard. Do you want to have the debate about what the right thing to do is, or do you want to debate, like, would some legislation have prevented this specific act? Those are often two different
and that's the politics of it. When do you focus on it? When everybody in America is focused, or another time? That's the big question right now.
President Trump going to Puerto Rico today to meet with first responders and survivors of Hurricane Maria. This is a pretty big deal, right? The president going down there. There's been criticism from the mayor of San Juan.
Yeah, speaking of optics, as we are political optics, I think a lot of people will be looking at whether or not he actually meets with the mayor of San Juan. There has been a Twitter war. Remember, it seems like years ago now, because we've all been now distracted by this massacre in Las Vegas. But in fact, there's a humanitarian disaster going on in Puerto Rico, and the question there is, how much is the government doing? Is it doing enough? And should there be criticism for an administration that some people in Puerto Rico and some of the media outlets say they're not doing enough? That's what we're going to be focused on today with the president. But he's continuing with his trip. Give him credit. He's going to go down there and see what's going on. We're going to look and see if some of the critics of President Trump actually meets with him and whether he comments on that.
All right.
Okay. Thanks, Pat. We'll look for your reports tonight at 5 and 6 o'clock.